we're going to work on all sorts of variations and all sorts of stretches to help build us a little bit closer toward the splits. So lots of stuff for our hamstrings today. Because it's dealing with the hamstrings, there's a lot of different props that we could use today, depending on what you have available for yourself. For instance, there's going to be one pose toward the end where we're going to use the wall to help us take a standing splits. Toward the beginning, when we're laying on our back, there's going to be one pose where we can use a strap to help our legs stretch if you have one. And then when we're going toward normal splits, if you happen to have 2 blocks to put your hands on, that could help, or even 1 block. But this is one where none of the props, minus maybe like sneaking over to a wall or to a door for that one pose, none of them are really necessary if you can do it without. So it's going to be your personal preference. And then whenever you're comfortable and you've got everything situated, let's make our way onto our backs to comfortably lay down. Just enjoying a few good breaths in and out. The body's relaxing onto the floor. Today, it's especially important to make sure that our muscles in our body are relaxed, because when it comes to a huge group that's very tight for a lot of people, like the hamstrings, if we've got a lot of tension in one area of our body, it's very likely that the rest of the body will kind of take on that same pattern. So here we're breathing and helping the body take on the pattern of relaxation to help us go as deep as possible in the muscles today. And we might not get anywhere near the splits, and that's okay too. The goal is to help stretch the hamstrings, and that's where we're headed. Now, hamstrings, I like to represent helping us take a step forward in life. And so imagine here that you're in, that the world around you is complete darkness, and you've just got a spotlight above where you are, only illuminating, a couple of feet radius around you. And so, you can't see where the correct direction is to head toward. But what we're trying to do is send little flash images to the universe about the future that we would like to attract to us. And just sending those images to the universe, imagine that the universe is helping to turn your body to face to this degree or to this side. And it's just by the images that you're putting out there. And so by the end of class, hopefully the universe will have pointed us into the right direction so that we can take a few steps forward and have a lot of clarity on this is the next step that I need to take in my life to help me with the goals that I have. So that's all representative by the hamstring today. That step forward, helping move us forward in our life. And so from here, let's take a moment stretching the arms clear up overhead. Feel a long body pull. Just a quick moment to get ourselves stretched. And with the exhale, the arms swing through the sides like wings, the knees come into the chest, even curl the head in toward the chest. Good. Left leg releases all the way to drop to the floor. If you have that strap, you're welcome to take it around the ball of the right foot. Head relaxes to the earth, and we're stretching this right leg up to the sky. If you don't have the strap, don't worry about it. Just grab onto the leg wherever you can reach. And what I'd like us to do, by the way, take a couple of little loops around the wrist with the strap if that helps you grab on with less effort. And what I'd like us to do here, first things first, straighten the leg out. So sometimes this means backing off a little bit. And we're gonna breathe. We wait about 30 to 45 seconds in a given stretch because that helps the muscle to start to get to a point where it's not so tense with where it's at. So we're breathing just a little while. Another good breath in and out. And now let's do some little pulses. With our pulse, we bend the knee. That completely relaxes the hamstring. Then when we straighten the leg back up, we're bringing it either to the same spot where it was or slightly deeper than before. And create a little pattern like that. With our inhale, just relax it, bending the knee. Exhale, push, straightening the leg and pull inward. Just little pulses, maybe about 5 more depending on how fast or how slow you're going. Keep on breathing. Remember that helps to tell the body that it's okay, it's safe, everything's gonna be good. Last one. This should be the deepest the hamstrings is capable of traveling right at this moment. So pause here for a few extra breaths. Good. Now as you start to slip the strap off of this foot, set the strap down for a moment. Second leg comes up. You'll notice in our class today, in between some of our stretches, we're going to do poses that do not use the hamstrings because that helps to warm up all the surrounding areas of the hips and the legs. And so here with the legs as straight as they possibly can go, we're going to let our legs open up to a wide figure V shape. And then exhale, bring them back together. Imagine you're moving through molasses, so it's not easy. You're creating your own resistance. Going wide and narrow. And by the way, if this is too hard for your back or for your core, do the same motion but with your knees bent. Just going wide and then squeezing it all together. So let's go a few more sets. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. When your legs are back together, drop this right leg slowly all the way down to the ground. If you have that strap, you're setting it up around the ball of left foot. Maybe those loops around the wrists. And then first and foremost, we're finding the angle where the leg can straighten out and just be. So find that angle. You should be feeling a stretch, but it's not so intense that your knee just kind of bends to take it out of it. So it's stretching, you're breathing, the muscles are relaxing. And from here, let's begin those pulses. The knee bends. When we straighten it back up, it's going slightly deeper or at least to the same spot where you were. And then bend, at least to the same spot, if not more. And just progressively travel toward the slits up in the air like this. It's however deep our legs are capable of right now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at that new deep spot. Just breathing a few more rounds. Good. Release the strap. I believe we're done with the strap unless there's a space where it's just natural for you to grab it later. Float this right leg up to meet the left in the sky. We're taking a few more rounds, both legs going wide, figure V, and then squeeze them together. Lots of resistance. As if we have a huge rubber band, we're opening the rubber band, and then we're resisting the pull of the rubber band so we don't just slam everything together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hands come behind the back sides of the legs. We're rolling like a ball a few times. If you can, work the legs straighter than they normally are in rolling like a ball. Try to go for that placement. Up and back. The straighter they are, the harder it is to stick it at the top. So that helps us build that stronger core. Good. The next time we're up, stay whatever your boat pose looks like, whether the knees are bent or straight. We're trying to find this balance on our hips. Try to maintain the balance. If you haven't walked your hands up closer to the ankles, try to walk a little bit higher. And then see if it's possible to open the legs wide with a little bit of balance. Good. Start to bring the bottoms of the feet together as you swivel the knees wide. And then we've just kind of gently landed ourselves to tilt forward into a nice cobbler pose. Nice transition to get all the way there. Start to roll the spine up, leave the left foot tucked in, the right leg straightens out in front of you, and we're taking a nice forward fold over that leg. Inhale, float up, exhale, relax up and over. And as we're here helping to stretch the hamstring out to that right side, take a moment to just tune into your intuition. If I were to ask you for your first initial spark, that first intuitive hit that you might get with this question, what is it that arises for you? The question is, what's my next step in life? So just what's that first thing that pops up? The first thought. Sometimes that first thought is the most powerful one that we can go forward with. Rising up, we're going to switch the legs out. Float the arms up, inhale, exhale, releasing forward. And this next step could mean a lot of different things. It could be in the way that you approach studies. It could be in your complete outlook and your complete direction for your career. It could be a lot of different steps, and it's only you who knows where the question even lies for you about what next step you need to work toward. Good. Starting to rise up from here. We're going to swing the legs directly underneath us, starting to come up to some different poses. And so from here, hands right under the shoulders. We're taking a few rounds of cat-cow, helping the vertebrae loosen up. If the vertebrae is happy, then we won't bring ourselves into low back pain by stretching the hamstrings so much today. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Another good exhale. Beautiful inhale. And then tucking the toes, let's lift directly up into downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs to help the hamstrings out again. This is like a little boost for them. Good. Now from here, left leg is going to float up to the sky. We're going to shift forward into plank pose, bringing that left knee through the side to try to touch the tricep, and then bring it all the way back up. Let's repeat that 4, and up, 3, up, 2, up, 1, up. Now, as we shift forward into plank again, just let this left leg continue to float. Squeeze the elbows into lower chaturanga, and then place yourself all the way on the ground. And then that left knee is going to swing through the side on the ground, coming up as high as it can to this side. You're welcome to stack your hands and just rest the right side of your head down so that you're gazing off to the left. From here, the left hand reaches down, trying to grab onto this left foot if at all possible, or you can grab onto the ankle or shin, and then begin to try straightening this leg all the way off to this left side, helping to stretch that part of the leg. Feel your breath also calming down as we're heading toward this particular stretch. Beautiful. Send this leg all the way back. Take a moment with child pose. Spine gets to relax along. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up high. Hamstrings are already looser than they were on the first down dog. From here, right toes float all the way to the sky. Swing the knee through the side to touch the tricep as we're shifting forward to plank, and then lift back up, three-legged dog. Repeating 4, and 3, and 2, 1. Good. Shifting back to plank, the right foot is still trying to float. Lower down to your belly. And then the right knee swings out to the side. Setting up in that high position, the knees as high as it can get. Bringing both hands under the face, this time left cheek down, gazing to the right. If it's possible to take your right hand to the right foot, go for that. Otherwise, ankle or calf. And then try to swing this right leg, straightening it off to that right side as high up as you can get it. Good. Start to bend the knee. When the leg is back behind us, shift back another moment with child pose. Okay, when you're ready for down dog again, let's lift all the way back up. Pedaling the legs out if necessary. Continue to lift hips high wherever you're at. And bending the knees, then like a little spring step walk or jump up to the top. Taking a little bit of extra time in this forward fold. If we're touching the ground, that's fine. If we're touching the legs, that's fine. Either way, walk the hands over to the right side, to the outside of the right foot, or the outside of the right leg. walk back through the center and over to the left side. Good. From here, walking back through the center, bend the knees. Slide the hands up to the knees. The spine is nice and flat. Straighten the legs. And slide back down. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. Bend the knees. The hamstring stretches out. Hands slide up to the knees, flattening the spine. Straighten the knees, just not hyperextending. You should be feeling this start to grab the hamstrings and pull them long. And then as we slide back down, that stretch gets deeper. One more like that. Bend the knees. Slide the hands up to the knees, flat spine. Straighten the legs. And slide back down. Good. This time we reverse that motion. Slide the hands up to the knees. The spine is flat. Bend the knees. Slide the hands to the ground. And then as you straighten the legs, the hamstrings are get deeper. Good. 2 more like that. Hands slide up to the knees. Spine is flat. Bend the knees. Hands slide back down. Straightening the legs. Deep, deep stretch. And 1 more. Hands slide up to the knees. Bend the knees. The stretches out of the hamstrings. Sliding hands back down to the ground. And legs are working towards straight. Another good inhale. A good exhale. Inhale, circle the arms through the sides, stretch up, arch back. Keeping the knees bent if you need to, since we were upside down for a while. A little arch to the spine. And then hands back to the heart. Good, going right into a flow. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fingertips down to the ground. Right foot lunges to the back of the mat. And then we drop the back knee down. Now from here, we're gonna go through a few pulses where we go back and forth between hips going forward. This stretches the front part of the right hip. And then we straighten the front leg. Our hips go over the back knee. And we lean forward to that direction. This stretches the back side of the left leg. So both of these are important to stretch out in order to head close to the splits at all. Let's go back and forth. This is 4. Stretching the hips. And straightening, lean forward. 3. 2. And straight. When we go back forward, pause. Either stay just like this or circle left hand to grab the back toes. Stretching through the quad. That's another important aspect because quad is on the opposite side of the hamstring. So making sure that's loose to help lead us to the stretches. When we release that quad stretch, the leg goes straight 1 more time and we pause. This is our half splits position. Beautiful. Swing this leg all the way back. We're in kneeling plank or full plank. Look, slow motion lower to the ground. Back bend of your choice. Tucking the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Bend the knees like a spring. Step up or jump up to the top. A nice forward fold for a good inhale. Good exhale. Inhale, rise, float up, arch back. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Starting the second side right away. Inhale, float up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fingers down, left foot lunges all the way to the back. Drop that knee down. And we make sure that the front knee never is able to go past the front toes. If so, we just scoot the toes a little bit further forward. Starting that first set back, the front leg goes straight, we bow down. Coming forward for 4. Definitely feel the hips pushing as far forward as they can. And straightening. Three. Straight. 2. Straight. The last one, we go forward, either stay here or right hand circles all the way up and back to grab the back toes. A little quad stretch. And release the quad stretch, straighten the front leg, try to bow forward if there's any room for the torso to get closer to the thigh. Remember to peek at the leg, making sure it's not bending a lot. That absolutely takes the stretch out of the hamstring. Rather, the leg's trying to straighten without locking. Beautiful. Start to send this knee back. We're in plank or kneeling plank. Slow motion lower to the ground. Back bend of your choice. It never has to be super deep. And shifting back, child pose, or just straight up to the down dog, your choice. The hips can travel up, even just 1 more millimeter. Try to find that lift. And then bend the knees, face forward in between hands. Step walk or jump up to the top. That forward fold. Inhale, rise. Good. And then as hands are at the heart, we're going to take a moment to find whatever wall we've chosen and just do a quick pose there. Again, this can just be a door. This one doesn't have to take up much space. All we're going to do is make sure our feet are pretty far away from the wall, a full 2 feet if you can. Set your hands up to the wall so that you can place your glutes directly on it. And then make sure as you're bending forward about halfway down that it's like you've removed some of the flesh from under the sitting bones. And then from there, just continue to slide the hands down the legs. As we use the wall to help us in this forward fold, this helps to make it so that gravity can really help us out. And we don't have to focus so much on the balance part of a forward fold. So feel some of your muscle groups releasing. Notice what's tight for you. You feel this through the low back. Can you try to straighten your spine so that you feel it deeply through the hamstrings? Good. We're going to rise back up, bend the knees, bring the hands to the wall by the hips, and then push your hips away, and you just naturally stand back up. Good, walking back up to the top of the mat. Once we're there, let's build on from where we were working a moment ago. So inhale, circle up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fingertips down, right foot lunges all the way to the back of the mat. This time, we stay in this shape and we begin to bend the front knee and straighten the front leg. The back foot's gonna go back and forth naturally between the heel lifting off the ground, and then when the leg goes straight, the heel can set back down. That's absolutely fine. If it's hard to reach the floor, grab a block under each hand right here. Good, let's pulse 5 more times. 5, and straight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, drop the hand over. We're just gonna stay in this pyramid pose for a moment. So just relax, feeling the legs straightening. It's a slightly different angle being up high here than it was being in the half splits. Good, we're gonna stand up, coming in through a standing split. So our front leg is going to stay firmly on the ground, that's the left foot. Our hands need to scoot forward about a foot so that we can easily balance, starting to float the right leg up as high as we can lift it. We also try to bring our torso closer and closer to the thigh. If this is pretty easy balance, start to walk your hands closer to your foot. Maybe one hand grabs the ankle. Maybe the second hand grabs the ankle, trying to balance as we're leaning forward in the standing split. 2 more breaths. And drop everything down. We're in a beautiful normal forward fold. Next inhale brings us up to rise, slight arch to the spine. Right away, diving forward fold, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Left foot lunges toward the back of the mat. And we start those pulses with the right leg. So right knee bends. We're in a definite kind of a lunge position. And then the front leg goes straight. Almost like pyramid pose, but just a slightly wider stance. The front knee bends, and the front leg goes straight. Keep on breathing through it. Four. 3, 2, 1, and hold it with that straight position just a bit longer. Good. So from here, we're going to prepare for the standing split with the right foot down. So our hands need to scoot forward to be on the ground in front of us. That makes it so we've got a triangle on the floor. That's a strong geometric shape so that this left leg can start to work, to float. Our torso is trying to get closer to the thigh as we're leaning forward. Our gaze is still in front of the front foot. That's what helps us balance. Now maybe the hands work closer to the foot. Maybe one hand grabs the ankle, the back side of it. Maybe the other hand grabs on as well. Find the full balance with the standing split. 2 more breaths. And drop that foot down. Relax for a few breaths. Forward fold. The next inhale helps us rise, sweep all the way up, and exhale immediately into the forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, slide the hands down, step walker, jump to plank, lower chaturanga, back bend of your choice, and child's pose or down dog for a moment. Dropping to knees if you took the down dog, rising the spine up if you took the child. We're in this nice kneeling position. And this is a place where we can use a block under each hand to help us out. What we're going to do is activate something called the Golgi tendon reflex to help our hamstring muscles learn how to get even longer. So the Golgi tendon reflex is something where we purposely contract a muscle, and then after you hold that for about 10 seconds, when you release, the muscle fibers are able to release even longer than they were previously. So what I want us to do to start off is just step the right leg in front of us. The leg is going towards straight. And then if you've got those blocks, place one under each hand just to help you balance here. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. Have hands down just like we have been doing. So the way that, just like I talked about, we have to make the muscle contract first, and then we can make it go longer toward the splits. And so the way that we make the hamstrings contract is by pushing the heel directly into the ground. So when we get started, I'm going to count down from 10, pushing the heel as firmly into the ground as you possibly can. After the 10, we're going to just completely relax. And you're going to find a greater depth. So that either means lean forward more than you were previously or scoot the foot a little bit further forward. We're gonna go for 3 rounds of that Golgi tendon reflex, getting deeper each time. So when you're ready for this first round, push the right heel directly into the ground, firmly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1, completely relax the muscle. It's practically like jello again. And then from here, you're either leaning forward deeper or scooting the foot forward any amount, even an inch or 2 counts. From this new spot, we're pausing to help the muscle relax into that depth before we get into the second round for the right leg. Okay, preparing for round number 2, push the heel into the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax, the muscles loose again. And then you either lean forward deeper or scoot the foot forward a little bit. What I like about having blocks here as I'm relaxing into it is that it helps my spine be able to be upright. It feels really good at opening through my body. Okay, we've got one more round on this right foot. Push the heel into the ground, going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax. And then either lean forward or see if there's a little bit more depth available. Now, like I said, you don't have to get anywhere close to the splits, but this is the closest to the splits that your hamstrings are capable of at this moment in time. Beautiful. We're going to shift our hips back. Be gentle as you swing this leg back. And take a moment, once the leg's all the way behind you, to either shake the right leg out, that can feel really nice on that hamstring, or tuck the right toes and press back into a right calf stretch. That can feel nice as well. Okay, when you're back down on your knees, we're ready for the second side, working that same Golgi tendon reflex. Left leg swings out in front of us. We can have our blocks under the hands if those are available to you. We're at an easy half split right at this moment. So we're gonna start the first round, push the left heel into the ground, going firmly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax. Either lean forward or scoot the foot forward a little bit. We're at a new depth. You're gonna breathe and relax into that spot. Okay, ready for the second round. Push the heel into the ground, going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And either lean forward deeper or scoot forward deeper. Okay, one last round for this side. Push the heel into the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax and either scoot forward or lean forward. This is our greatest depth available for the left leg. Okay, we're ready to bring this leg all the way back. Take lots of care. We just went extremely deep with that muscle group. So when you start to bring this leg back, you can either shake it or take the calf stretch, tuck the left toes, and press back until you feel the calf stretching out. Okay, from here we're gonna do 2 more poses using the wall. So come all the way gently up to standing. We're gonna find that space, even if it's just a door, whatever works for you. This time you're gonna be facing toward the wall. You're gonna be at a distance that allows your head to swing to the side, and then you can start to capture your upper back onto the wall. And so your goal here is to do any manipulations that help you feel like more and more surface area of your back is touching the wall. So sometimes that means scoot your feet just a little bit closer. Sometimes that means slide your back down the wall a little bit deeper. When I get to my greatest depth that's available for this pose, usually I can completely lift up my hands and shake them out from any of that pressure you had just a moment ago holding yourself up on those blocks. So if that's available, that's fine. Hands are just relaxed. We're here upside down, just a few more breaths. 2 more deep inhales and exhales. As we're coming out, start off by bending the knees. As your weight is in your feet, gently swing the head through the side. And then come up to stand. Turn your back to the wall. The heels can have several inches between the wall and you. And we're going to roll down, walking our hands forward toward a downward facing dog shape. And from here, we're gonna do standing splits using the wall to help us out. So lift the right toes up and catch them on the wall. From here, you've got some options if you need greater depth or lesser depth. Lesser depth would mean walk your hands a little bit further away from the wall. Greater depth means scoot the toes up the wall as you walk your hands closer to your standing foot. So find whatever depth is available. If one of your knees has to bend, try to not make it the bottom leg. Try to keep that one straight. You're gonna stay until it feels like you need to come down for your wrists, and then you're just gonna take a child pose. So if you're still doing okay, let's go for 3 more good breaths. And then we all are down in a child pose. We can roll out our wrists, giving ourselves a little break before the second side. Okay, when you feel ready, come back up to the downward facing dog. Lift the left toes up, catching them on the wall. And then you have to choose your distance. Are you walking closer to your legs? Are you hopping further out? Even the standing foot can go further out to make it easier. If one leg has to bend, try to not make it be the right leg. Another good inhale. A good exhale. Drop back down to child. Okay, rolling our way back up. Let's make our way back onto our mat. We've essentially got 2 last stretches for our legs. The first one has each side once again. And so it's similar to what we were just doing, not the Golgi tendon part of it, but the scooting of the foot forward part of it. If you have the blocks, this one is going to require it to do it exactly like what I'm doing it. So if you don't have a block, just do exactly what you were doing a moment ago when we were working toward the splits. If you have a block, with your right foot forward, your left hand can have one of the blocks, and then the other block goes under your right thigh. You're going to scoot the right foot forward to the point where you can rest yourself down onto the thigh. And the second block is just straight for balance to help you out. We're gonna breathe here for a little while. So if it feels like this height of the block that you're sitting on can go a little bit deeper after a few breaths, you're welcome to bump it down eventually, maybe to the medium height of the block. This for me feels like it's a good height to just rest at for the rest of this pose. But if anybody wants to bump it down to even a small height, or maybe you've got your splits and you're ready to travel into that, that's great. Otherwise, let's relax. About 3 more good breaths for this side. Good. Dropping your hands to the floor, help to slide that right leg in. Once again, when the leg's behind you, let's just shake it out. Good. Right knee down, left foot out in front of you. Scoot it forward until you can sit on your block. Or again, take any other variation that we've been practicing. It's good to pause at an easier height before we go to the full depth. So this is a good spot just to pause for a few breaths. If you'd like to bump it down at all, go ahead and rest to the next height. And this is where we'll end up. Let's just breathe a few more rounds of breath. Good. Taking your time to swing this left leg back and shake it out once again. Okay, from here, very last pose of the day. Come to sit down, the legs swing out in front of you. You're planting the feet. You're hugging around the thighs, and you're getting a connection that's gluing the torso to the thighs. So sometimes that's a hand clasp, a forearm clasp, or even an elbow clasp. From that spot, we start to walk one foot forward and then the next. And we continue to inch the feet forward until it feels like we're releasing the hug. So the torso would start to come away from the thighs. When that starts to happen, that's your edge. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Your edge might be at the beginning, or your edge might be almost at the end, almost flat. So keep on going. This gives some of those last little fibers of the hamstrings that maybe haven't included themselves that much during class. This gives them one last chance to stretch out. So let's enjoy 3 slow, deep, introspective breaths. And after that third breath, our hands gradually find themselves off the sides. We press into the hands to help our back gently, gently rise up. And we make our way gradually down onto our backs, rolling down. If there's any intuitive last stretches your body needs before Shavasana, it's absolutely fine to take a minute or so to do those last things. And then when your body's ready, you'll join me in the perfect Shavasana for your body today, whatever that looks like. Begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introducing little movements back to ankles and wrists, fingers and toes. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position. Just enjoying a few more good, deep bonus breaths. Eventually pressing our way up to a comfortable seated place. And as we join our hands together in front of the heart, the moment the hands touch, imagine taking your step forward into the darkness, whatever direction the universe says that we're pointed, and step forward. So with us having taken that step forward in our mind's eye, what does that step look like in our life? What's that next step that we take to attract the best possible future we can imagine to us? And so with that question, with that idea and that image to lead us in toward a beautiful rest of this day, let's wrap up the time that we got to share together with a sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.